Hi, welcome to Oak Mama's channel. My name is Florence Wamboy Okech. I'm so happy you could join me today. On this channel, everyone gets better. So, the last few weeks we've been talking about hindrances to our progress, and that is a video I did some time ago. Please look it out. We found out that one of the biggest culprits is fear. And that's why we started a series on fear and how to overcome different types of fear. Last week we talked about fear of failure, and today we're talking about the fear of people. I know many of us have gone through this, if not everybody. We suffer. I have suffered it personally, and that's why I'm so passionate about this thing, so that we can overcome these things that are causing us to remain behind and not achieve those goals that we want to achieve. So let's dive into this. Fear of people, also called anthropophobia, means the same thing. It can be expressed in two different ways. There are some people who are literally afraid of crowds. They just don't do well with crowds. They feel jittery, their stomach hurts, and all that when they think or when they know they're going to be in the presence of many people. Some are actually afraid and fear for their lives, fear to be hurt. Okay. And the second way is that there are people who probably are not really afraid of crowds per se, but they're afraid of scrutiny. They're afraid of being evaluated or being judged. So before they do something, before they dress up, before they speak out something or post something, everyone thinks about it a bit. But for those with fear of people, it hinders them from doing anything because they think so and so will think this of me, or they keep on wondering what will people think about me or say about me. They fear being judged. So what are the causes of fear of people? One of the causes is the feelings of inadequacy, okay, or low self-worth. Many people who go through this kind of fear often have those feelings of, I'm not worthy enough, maybe to be in that crowd. Probably some of them feel their personality is not as good as that of the crowd or the other person. So they always feel, um, I'm not worthy to be there. I'm not worthy to be among those people. This lack of self-worth could be a result of lack of affirmation as they were being brought up. It could be as a result of a lot of criticism, especially when being brought up or even with the people someone currently stays with. So that kind of critical environment can cause a lot of feelings of self-doubt and low self-worth. The second one is not having a good self identity, okay, or simply not knowing who you really are. And let me ask you a question. Are you your car? Are you the house which you live in? Or are you your degree? Let me put it simply. What defines you? What defines who you are? Or let me just ask you for one moment. Who are you? Who do you describe yourself as? Many people, when posed with this question, will talk about, of course, their name. I come from this and this place. I am this and this thing by profession. I have this kind of education level. Of course, you call yourself by the title and all those details. I drive this and this car, and those things are good. They are okay. But are they really who you are? Are they really what defines you? So that's a question I want us to think about, and we'll talk about it later, okay? What defines you? Who are you really? The third cause of this fear of people is traumatic experiences. Some of us could have suffered traumatic experiences at some point that are leading us to inhabit, to have that fear. For example, someone could have fallen in public and people laughed instead. Even, you know, how people can fail to be compassionate, and maybe that person felt so embarrassed. And now they're always afraid that if I walk in front of people, I just might fall. And I just might, go through the same kind of embarrassment. Some other traumatic situations are, for example, bullying. Some people went through a lot of bullying, maybe because of how they look, because of their physique. And because of that, some are afraid to walk maybe near some kind of people. For example, I know someone who has a small body and was bullied a lot. So they used to be afraid to walk nearby crowds, or near when they see a group of maybe boys coming. They were always afraid that these people will start bullying them again. And those are some of the reasons that could cause this fear. So let us look at, how does someone with this fear of people look like, or how do they behave? One way that you can tell I have fear of people, before you do anything, you're always thinking, how will people think about what I'm doing? What will they think of me? What will they say? What will come out of their mouths? You're so afraid of judgment that it paralyzes you and keeps you from doing anything beneficial. You could be suffering from fear of people. The second way you can tell that you might be suffering from fear of people: are you afraid to stand out? For example, if someone asks for volunteers, maybe in a classroom, or someone to make a presentation, are you always the last one to even want to raise your hand or to be volunteered? Maybe you're preparing for a party, but you want any kind of dressing that will not bring any attention your way, because you want to fizzle out in the crowd. Are you that kind of person? Maybe you could be facing the fear of people. Okay, so let's talk about the third way, which is being reluctant to try new things. So many of us are often afraid of change. And why? This reluctance could be caused by fearing what others will say when that change happens. Okay? So people with this kind of fear, often when they are faced with an opportunity to talk to people, or to an opportunity that brings them before people, or brings them through scrutiny or evaluation, they have a lot of palpitations. Some have stomach upsets, some have shivers, and all that. Those symptoms might show you that you have fear of people. Let's talk about, how can I deal with this type of fear? Maybe you've looked at those signs I've just talked about, and you want to overcome this because maybe it has held you back from doing so many things. How can we deal with it? Let's look at it and evaluate it very realistically. So, many times we fear people because maybe they have a higher position than we do, or maybe they're in a position of authority, maybe because they have much more wealth than we do. So we feel like we're not worthy to be in the same space with them. But is this the case? Is this how it's meant to be? Let me suggest to you that we are all human beings and we're all equal, at least in God's sight. Okay? When it comes to differences in race, in color, in hair types, in tribes, differences in positions and titles. Yes, those things can be different, but let's also remember that we go through different seasons of life, and everybody is in a different season. Some are in common seasons, but just because someone is in a higher position than you today doesn't make them better than you, and doesn't make you less than them. Or because you have more wealth than somebody else doesn't make you better than them. We are all equal. So when faced with such an opportunity to um, go before someone or to talk to somebody who seems way higher than you, and you feel afraid, remember, we are all the same. We have the same kinds of needs within us, the innate needs of a human being. Okay? And we are in different seasons. Probably that is their season now, and it could be yours one day to come, or not. But the point is, we need not fear people because of those things. Why? They're all equal. The second very important thing I need to do, somebody needs to do to deal with the fear of people, is to define my identity right. Okay? So I asked a question before: who really are you? You know, these things that we talk about, I'm doctor or professor so and so, I have a PhD in this and that, I live in the leafy suburbs, or I live in the village of, all those things are good, and they define who we are at some point in our lives. But those things are only temporary, they're not permanent. And so that's why I'd like you to ask yourself, who really are you? What really defines you? Okay? Because sometimes we're afraid of people because of their positions, of all those things. But that is not who someone really is. In my opinion, what truly defines someone is your principles, my principles, my value systems, um, my faith. How is my character? You know, those things are more meaningful than just those things that pass away so quickly, the material things. Okay? So ask yourself, what principles do you hold? What are your values? What do you believe in? What is your faith? How is your character? Okay? And that will help you to define who you are. One thing you must remember, one thing I must remember: I am not my car, or no car if you don't have one. I am not my house, you're not your house. Okay? I am not all those things, my degrees and all that. That is not truly who I am. I need to define who I am. And that will help me so that when you go to some place where there are people of different caliber and you feel you don't fit in, remember that on the inside, we are all just human beings. We all have similar, almost similar needs. And so don't feel less because of that, of what you have or what you don't have, or feel higher than others because of what you have or don't have. Okay? The third point is that we must learn to work on ourselves. What makes me feel inadequate? Is it that I don't have enough practice in a certain skill? Maybe like public speaking, so that I'm afraid of getting embarrassed. What is it? Is it something that I went through, some traumatic situation, and need to pursue healing? I need to talk to somebody. I need some counseling to overcome it. Is it some language that I need to practice to get more confident about it? Is it working on my fashion sense that will make me feel better. Whatever it is that can be changed and help you to become a better person, work on it. Do it. Get better. And you'll feel better from the inside and less intimidated by people. Okay? And the last point, be kind. Be kind to yourself. I have to keep reminding myself to be kind to myself. Sometimes maybe I've missed the mark, but I need to forgive myself. Other people might not be so forgiving of me, okay? But I can forgive myself. And if I forgive myself, it will be much better for me, okay? One way of being kind to myself, one way you can be kind to yourself is to not compare yourself with others. Sometimes we judge ourselves too harshly. And that's why we also think others are judging us the same way. Sometimes, actually, when you think others are judging you too harshly, it often is the case that you are also judging others also critically. You know, the funny thing is, the wrong things we see them doing to us are often the things we do also ourselves, albeit silently. So what I'm saying is, you don't have to compare yourself to anybody else. We're on different journeys. We have different backgrounds. We're in different seasons of our lives. So be kind to yourself by running your own race. One other way, by affirming ourselves. Sometimes we wait for somebody else to affirm us. We wait for the person we love most to affirm us, and they might not. But we need to affirm ourselves. We need to remind ourselves that we are beautiful. You are beautiful. And why should you believe it? Because your maker says so. God, who created everything on this earth, he made us and he saw that everything he made was perfect. You have a nose that looks whichever way you don't like it, or your hair that looks whichever way you don't like it, in his eyes, you are beautiful. Okay? And just accepting it helps you feel better about yourself. So, finally, we must learn to remember our uniqueness. This is something I always have to remind myself, because we were made so uniquely. Even if we've been born in the same family, but we have different talents, we have different giftings. Okay? You don't have to be afraid of standing out or of being different. We don't have to always blend in with the others into the crowd to be, to be unseen or unheard of. You can stand out, you can be unique because you bring a uniqueness that is needed in this world. Okay? So, guys, those are the things, some of the things we need to do to deal with the fear of people. Please forgive me for the background noise, but I hope this has been helpful. And if it has been helpful to you, please like the video so that it can be shown to many more people that can also benefit from it. And I'd love so much to hear what you have to say about this topic. Are you going through these things? Please let me know if you have overcome this fear through any other way. Let us know. Let somebody else also learn from whatever you will say. If you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much to all those who've already subscribed, and I believe you're already getting value for your time. That is my desire in this channel. Till the next video, bye-bye.